Troy's Everyday Eats brought to you by The Fresh Market.
7:12 now, outside live on the Blue Max Terrace with Chef Troy, and we are doing steak and tomato supper.
Yeah, instead of, steak and potato, I thought, it's tomato season, so...
You're always looking for a way to bring in the good fresh stuff.
Yeah, and we're going to really not going to do a whole lot to that. We're just going to add a couple other fresh ingredients to it and a real quick vinaigrette, and we're going to serve that with a skirt steak. Now, I've got it sitting out right now, but I just pulled it out of the refrigerator, and I'll explain to you. You got to stay tuned because, normally we keep it out at room temperature. Yeah. Well, that's a little thinner steak, so I'll tell you the trick to that. Okay. But just kind of set all this up. We're going to do a grilled slaw salad.
All right.
So stay with me, dear.
Okay.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some cabbage. I've got green and red, and I'm just going to cut it in half. And you want to start and go right through the core. That way it all stays together. Try not to cut any digits off. That way you can throw it on the grill and it's not going to fall apart on you. Now, when I say we're going to char this, we're going to char it. You almost want it to make it look like you made a mistake.
Whoa.
And I mean that. I had a brush. Oh, right there in front of me. All right. So you want to brush, get it down in every nook and cranny.
Now, how hot is the grill going to be where we pop these guys on? We're
going to go medium high. You could even go high. You just you definitely want to get that flame on there and get it nice and charred. Like I said, you'll see when we come back what it looks like. It almost looks like you made a mistake.
Okay.
So we're going to put it right on the direct heat and basically just leave it maybe 3, 4, even 5 minutes until it's charred, and then you're going to flip it over onto the other side of the cabbage so you can char that side as well. All right, so to top this, we're going to make a dressing. I'll have you go ahead and get started on that.
Right.
You've got some mayonnaise.
Starting with some Dukes here.
Yeah, of course. And then about a quarter cup of ketchup. Okay. And this is going to be a Russian dressing.
All right, do I start mixing it in now?
Yeah, you can.
As we're adding all this other stuff?
And we're just, really, there's not a whole lot to it. We're going to add a little bit of hot sauce, about a tablespoon, or how hot you want it.
Okay.
And then just a dash of Worcestershire. Now, we'll cut up some chives and put that in there and finish it all up. Now, the crunchy element to the salad, once that comes off, the cabbage comes off, we're going to shred it nice and thin. But we're going to take some ramen noodles, and I've just got them in a bag. Throw that little pack away, that little flavor pack, or use it for something else. But you just want to crush these up.
I'm a little surprised that the ramen noodles are making an appearance here. I'll be honest with you.
Well, we're going to toast them up in some of this butter. So we're going to get them nice and toasty, so they're going to be crunchy. So when we mix the Russian dressing in with the grilled cabbage, we're going to top it with the crunchy ramen. So when we come back, we'll kind of put that together, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the steak. We're going to get to the steak and tomatoes in a little bit. Right now, we're working on our grilled slaw salad. And when I left you, I said, take this cabbage to the point to where you think you made a huge mistake. You can see it's charred completely on both sides. It's exactly where we want it. We want to cool this down now, so we'll put that in the refrigerator and cool it down. I've already got some done, so I'm going to start slicing this up. When we come back, we're going to put it together with that Russian dressing and the crispy ramen noodles right here on Rising.
On the Blue Max Terrace this morning for Troy's Everyday Eats, we're doing a steak and tomato supper, not dinner.
Right.
And I asked you the difference, and you're like, well, it's just whatever you want to say.
Right.
It's interchangeable.
I like supper, steak and supper kind of went together. It's tomato, I don't know. This all kind of went together.
So we're doing this chopped summer salad, which I'm excited to hear about, this whole coleslaw thing going on here. But first, where's the steak? Because we've been saying steak, and I have no idea where it is.
Well, we're doing skirt steak, and I've got it in the refrigerator right now, keeping it nice and cold, but you got to stay tuned. In the 8 o'clock hour, I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because normally I leave my steaks out at room temperature, but there's a particular reason that we're not doing that. So tune in at 8, and we'll talk about the chilled skirt steak.
Slaw salad.
All right, so we're doing a grilled slaw salad. If you can see the cabbage just at the break, I just pulled that one off. We're going to throw that in the refrigerator and cool it off, but you really want it to make it look like you forgot it was on there.
I was going to say, that is charred.
Because when you're cutting it, you're only getting just that last little bit, so it's going to give it, plenty of smoky flavor, and it's going to give that nice char flavor and all that, so we'll get the rest of that. And then I just kind of like, running my knife through it just a little bit.
Get it nice and finely chopped there.
So, and every steak has to have a good salad. Now, the tomato salad that we're going to do is we're really not going to do a whole lot to it. We're going to cut the tomatoes up and just top it with a little vinaigrette. All right, so we're going to add some onions to this.
Okay, you got chives, carrots. Oh, did you do some? Oh, I know, I'm getting ahead of myself. I saw ramen.
Well, that's going to go on top. And the way I like to do salads, or especially when I do something slaw that I'm calling a salad, usually slaws, you put the mayonnaise or whatever base you're putting out, you put it on there and just kind of let it sit. Well, I like dressing my slaws kind of like you would a salad.
Okay.
So we're going to add everything that we would, and then at the end, we're going to dress it.
Oh, nice.
So we've got the carrots there. Maybe just a few more
look
carrots.
At that. You got a lot going on. I like it.
It's just fresh, It's going to go great with that steak. So now with the dressing, get that out of there. We're going to take some of these chives, We're going to run this through we made a real quick, super simple Russian dressing, just a little bit of mayonnaise, some ketchup, some Worcestershire sauce, some Tabasco, and then I added some salt and pepper. So I'm going to have you whisk that in there.
Okay.
All right, so we're not actually going to dress this just yet.
All right, too soon. You don't want it to get...
But we're going to chill that. We're going to chill this. Now, this is the crispy ramen that we fried up in a little bit of butter. That's going to go on top after we dress it. So we're going to get everything in the refrigerator. We come back, we're going to start on the steak and the tomato salad.
Sounds good, Chef. Steak and tomato supper. And we actually have the steak to show off this time. We're getting to it. Saving the best for last.
Well, and we've had it in the refrigerator the whole time. Normally when we do a steak, you know, I usually bring these big, thick porterhouses or ribeyes or whatever, and we leave them out at room temperature.
And you say to do that.
Well, and that's why, because if it's cold all the way through with a thick steak, you will never get to that medium rare that you want because it's so cold that it doesn't, you know, warm up through. Now, the thing with this is that you really want it cold because you want to be able to get the outside done, but still keep it as cold as possible on the inside to get medium rare.
So just skirt steak?
Just anything thin, like even if it's a thin pork chop or something like that, and you want to cook it to like a medium. But the thing with this is there's you can see this is a skirt steak, and it comes from the belly. It's kind of near the brisket. It's on the plate cut, so it's kind of in the middle of the stomach. But you can see it's got plenty of grain. It's got plenty of fat. I mean, it's literally one of my favorite cuts.
Oh, wow.
All right, so we're going to take just a little bit of olive oil.
Oil in your Chef Troy mix.
Gotta put some spice mix on there, and that's just salt and pepper, oregano, a little bit of garlic. All right, so get this. You want to season it kind of liberally.
At the Fresh Market.
You most certainly can, or you can go to cheftroy.net.
Bing! Bing!
All right, so we're going to put this on there. We got medium-high heat. Obviously, we're going to do direct heat because we want to do this fairly quick. And now that it's cold, we can really get that nice char on it and still keep it medium rare on the inside because, like I said, if it's warm, like if Terrence would want to warm this up.
I was just about to say that.
Because Terrence likes his steak cooked all the way through. So on a thin steak, he would want to warm it up as well. I'm not sure why that's flaring up.
It just depends on how you like it. But if you're going for the pink in the middle, keep it cold.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so for our tomato salad, we got the slaw in the refrigerator because we haven't even dressed it yet because we're going to treat it like a salad. All right, so for the tomatoes.
You want the smaller ones? The tomatoes?
I do. You can use whatever size you want. I like this size because, you know, once you quarter them, they're pretty much in a bite-sized piece. We've got some roasted peppers here. I went to the Fresh Market and I actually got the jarred piquillo peppers. I just kind of prefer those. But if you want to get a red bell pepper and throw it on the grill and char it up.
Leave them long. Okay.
All right, so we'll cut some more of those. But I'm also going to cut some onions. And then we got to get to this dressing. We're just about out of time already. So we'll cut a few more of those.
What's
so
your base for the dressing?
We're going to take some mustard. Here, let's just do it over
Okay,
here.
we're going to do it over here.
All right, so we'll take a little bit of mustard.
Spicy?
Just Dijon.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll take, you can throw that garlic in there. I'm going to put the red wine vinegar in there.
Just a couple cloves.
Yeah, and then you say these are hairy fish.
Hairy fish.
But they're anchovies, and if you don't tell anybody that they're in there, they'll never know. But it's just such a salty, flavorful, I mean, there's just no way to describe it. You'll know if you don't put them in. That's the thing. All right, so then we're going to just salt and pepper, and then we'll take the immersion blender, put it in there. We'll add the oil real slow and get it all nice and thick.
Okay.
And it'll be kind of thick, too, because we're going to actually going to emulsify it instead of just shaking it up.
Okay, sounds good.
You know, it is the time of year when football season's right around the corner when we're already jabbing each other during the break. So it's
I almost slammed you, but I saw we were coming back. So.
Okay.
We'll wait until after we go.
Instead of slamming, let's talk about what you're doing here with our summer steak and tomatoes.
All right, so we've got everything's pretty much where it needs to be. We've got the steak off. It's resting. The thing about the steak, the skirt steak, it's so thin. First of all, skirt steak's probably my favorite cut because, you know, it's got this streak of fat running through it, which everybody knows that's flavor. And if it's cooked right, you know, really retain a lot of that fat and a lot of the moisture and flavor. But the thing is we kept that ice cold until we put it on the grill.
Which is completely
backwards.
different what you're used to with steaks.
Right, and the reason for that is I like, you know, medium rare, and if it's warm all the way through, that heat's going to transfer through the steak so fast that it's going to be the way Terrence likes to eat it before you know it.
Which is a charcoal briquette.
Right. So we're going to let that rest a little bit. This was our grilled slaw salad. We made, we just took red and green cabbage.
And you dress your salad more like a traditional salad when you're doing a coleslaw.
I do, and that's why I'm not calling it really a coleslaw, because I'm going to start with a little bit here, and then we'll add some more. But we took, I just like it better that way instead of it sitting there. A lot of times if we've seasoned, you know, the dressing, but now we're going to season the cabbage. If you do that real soon, it's going to leach out a lot of the water from the cabbage, and then you just got a big runny mess.
Yeah, mess.
So now we took a Russian dressing and we put some chives in there with just some mayonnaise and ketchup. You know what? I'm going to have you do this while we're doing that.
Work that in.
So we got to dress the tomato. I just put tomatoes, onions, roasted peppers. We made a quick vinaigrette with some anchovies and some garlic. I know anchovies freaks a lot of people out. But I just wanted to dress this real simple since, you know, tomatoes are in season. You really don't have to do a whole lot to them. We'll add a little bit of pepper to that, a little bit of salt to that. And I guess we're running out of time already. I really want you to see
let's get this
steak. Check this out. So it's nice and medium rare. Now, when you cut it, see the grains are going this way?
Yep.
You want to cut the opposite way like this. That way it's nice and tender.
Can't have any. That's too
No,
bad.
I cooked one for him too, but look how moist and juicy, you know, that piece is. So we would just plate it up.
He would
simple.
put that in the microwave for 4 minutes. Before he'd eat it.
It's done. Perfect.
On high.
So nice, Troy. That's just a beautiful summer day.